Hey everybody, so glad that you guys can join me today. I just really want to get some friends acquainted more with HTML5 and CSS3. So what better way than just inviting the public? So today we're going to learn about some HTML5, CSS3. I thought about doing some JavaScript, but it's kind of pointless because if you don't know the first skills, you're not going to grasp JavaScript. It just works like that. Some resources that I apologize. I have some people trying to get into this, so have to make sure that you guys can view. All right then. Well, anyways, I'm going to be using some resources, some books of my own that I really just think that is really good. It's HTML5, and I also have the Modern Web, which has CSS, HTML5, and JavaScript, which eventually we'll get to, but not today. All right. And we also have CSS3, the greatest, because it talks about the animations that have been brought into the new CSS. So you definitely want to get these books if you don't already have them, or just, hey, it's not school, just try to look it up. Stack Overflow is really good, W3 Schools. Okay, so one feedback I've gotten so far is that the internet connection sucks, and I apologize. I'm at my parents'. He said I'm all choppy and I could hardly tell what you're saying. So I'll slow it down. Okay? All right. So today we're going to just do a basic exercise. How about that? So don't get too trippy. Today I'm going to use Sublime Text because my Dreamweaver trial is up. So obviously I got to get that fixed before I go back to work. But it's okay. We're going to start the screen share so you guys can view that. And I have enabled the group chat. So if you want to chat or ask me any questions, it's going to be right there. So feel free to chat to me. Let's go ahead and do the screen share so you guys can view that. Uno momento. Screen share, why won't you work? Okay. Give me one moment because my computer tried to freeze up earlier and I don't want it to freeze up on you guys right now. Okay. 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 Looks like screen share is not going to work for me, but it has to. So if I have to exit out again, which I hope I don't have to, because I really hope you guys grasp this concept. Is that it? No, it's not, buddy. But it did zoom in. Okay. Which is odd enough because I don't want to be that big on my screen. Okay, I hope my connection isn't lagging because I kind of see it lagging. I don't want you guys to have an issue viewing, so hopefully we can get it worked out. Okay, reload the Okay, so let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, see if that will work for me now. Yeah. Amazing what a reload could do for you. Okay, so here I am off to the side. If you guys can see that I already started some coding just to have a basic page so you guys can view. Let's just go ahead and take that away so you guys know what we're doing. So first thing first, we're going to declare the document type. The browser needs to know this because if you don't declare it, then it's hard for it to tell us HTML with all these other coding languages that exist nowadays. You also want to let the browser know the language you're coding in. So I go HTML5 language. We're going to be speaking in English to this browser. You can also do like Chinese characters or Western Unicode. There's a whole bunch you can choose. But to not further confuse you, you're going to start off with your head section. Your head section is kind of like the brain of the page. So in your head section, you're going to put things that the browser will identify with, but you as a user won't see them first thing first. So today's title for this page is going to be My First HTML5 and CSS Tour. Okay? So there you have it. You have your titles, and also don't forget to close your brackets. I'm using Sublime Text 3. It's kind of similar to Dreamweaver on Adobe Creative Suite 6. The difference is that Dreamweaver is going to be more predictive. So you're going to start forgetting code if you always code in Dreamweaver. I'm not just saying that, it's just proven. You're not going to know it as well if you hand code. Cool. All right. So you can also do meta char set. Char set equals UTF-8. It's some type of coding. I don't even know what the abbreviation stands for, so I'm not going to act like I do. But in this section, you'll also want to do what people call SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. SEO ensures that your website can be found on Google first with the spider crawlers. So in your SEO, you want to put like meta description tags. Meta descriptions are going to be the first words that you use on Google for them to be your site. Google, find me. That's might be something you want to say, okay? And then you can also put keywords like equals Google, find me, web, design, technology, anything. Everything goes there. Now, when you want Google to find you first, it's going to find Google. It's going to, the spiders are going to find all these keywords and actually put you into a category that's going to better show what that website consists of. Now, if you had something like, I get a lot of people who are models or artists who want to create a website for their blog. Some key terms, you can go to a Google keyword. There's a keyword helper that helps you find major keywords that will help your site become more active to that category instead of at the bottom of the list. So you might want to play around with that keyword tool. It is available through Google. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with our body section. And before we complete the body, let's go ahead and close that tag so you get in the habit of doing it. It's really good to be in the habit of closing your body tags and your HTML at the very bottom. The only thing you don't have to close is that doc type. It's just for the browser to understand that, hey, that's there. You need to be aware that it's there. So you're going to have in your body a text paragraph. I like to go to Lipscomb. It's Lipscomb Aurora. That might not be the word for it. I just can't pronounce anything foreign to English. Excuse me, I have family coming in. It's actually Lorem Ipsum. It's a Greek. What it is a Greek autofiller for text. It's actually really good to use because it helps you create your body text if you actually don't know what you want to use yet. So I go here and I say that I want one paragraph, full words of just the lorem ipsum. So therefore, I can kind of see what my content is going to look like before I actually create my content in order to have more of an aesthetic feel of what my page will look like in the future. So there we have it. You have that. You have two paragraphs, what it seems like, because that's really big. I would just break that up just so you guys can view it. So let's just save that. And what I did was save it as index.html. I already have it where I can pull it up and show you. Here it is. Let's check it out. There we go. So you just have a paragraph of text. It doesn't look so cute. Actually looks like some beginning 1990 coding. So let's go ahead and add some cute things to this. But first, you never want to create your styles inline. That is so tacky for a web developer. And it's actually very tacky that I have my website, my coding like this, which is very simple to fix. Just select all your text. There's this very cool tool, if you haven't found out already. It's called Modernizer. Modernizer actually helps you. Is it called Modernizer? I thought it was. Okay. It's actually called something else. It's, if you go to Google, you can search it. It's beautify your code. Beautify your code. Ooh, there it goes. There we are. So what we want to do is copy and paste the code we just have right there and beautify it, please. Ooh, how pretty is that? Okay. So there's my code looking a lot more aesthetically pleasing to any other designer who wants to hop onto this project. If you give me just one moment, I'm gonna check the chat to see if anyone has any questions, because I realized that my friend had some particular questions before we started doing this. So stopping my screen share to review. Okay, y'all. Are you guys kind of getting a little prepared to code? It's really good to do this with me. If you don't have a coding program on your computer, it's all fine. Don't feel the need to download it. But if you're a true coder, you might want to go ahead and have it downloaded. Sublime Text is for free. It's pretty new. You can customize it and get some color codes going. I have like a really cute skin, so it looks really cute when I code because I'm girly like that. You don't have to have it. You can always use like JS CodePen. There's just some resources online where it allows you to code without having to download the product. So those are options, just so you guys know. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get back to doing our CSS. And not inline, by the way. Yippee. Okay, so screen share. Okay. I would like to screen share. I'm sure my audience would love to see me, but it's not that great right now. Okay. Bear with me. My computer's lagging. I really think it's Google, but okay. There we go. Share my desktop for my viewers, please. Okay. Let's get back to it. So where we put everything in our head section, such as the title and the meta descriptions and the meta language, we're also going to link our CSS to. So you have this link rev tag that links your sites to you. You see my Sublime Text is actually pretty cool. I have my CSS already tagged right here. I have a few things. It's already called my CSS .css, and the style of the site is actually text/CSS. Okay, so now we're connected, but what I realized earlier when I did my first screencast was that if your documents aren't in the same place, they're not in the same place. So therefore your computer cannot just find it with that incorrect path. So make sure you do a habit of saving both your files, all your external pages to your site in the same folder. So what I did earlier was save my index.html page and my documents page. So I want to do that again, and I want to color code it so I don't lose it, okay? So let's replace this, but put it in the correct place, and let's put some H1 tag in here, so when we do see the colors, we see that H1 is affected by our CSS. So title of my page, content. Goes here. How about that? Okay. What a good header. It can be anything you want. I just thought that would be a little bit more so you guys can understand it. Cool. Let's see what that looks like. How shall we? Okay. That's the previous one. It hasn't been reloaded. Don't sweat. Wow, look at that. You got your H1 and you have your 2 paragraphs. Oh, I hate that. You see how the paragraphs right here are way too close? That's not aesthetically pleasing to my eye. So what I'm gonna do to just make small changes is add another break tag right here, because it already broke the first line, but sometimes you just need 2 in order to just create that extra space that you want. Wow, okay. So this is very bland. I wish I had some more viewers so I can kind of tell, you guys can tell me what you want and I can just go out there and put it. But since I have some first-time developers out there, I don't want to go too fast and I want to be at your pace. So let's keep it simple. Cool? Cool. Okay. So it looks like my CSS should be linked to my CSS.css. You should have a body background color, which doesn't seem to be pulling up. So let's take out that light gray, because I think light gray like that is actually written for Sass, which is a new CSS. We're not at that level right now where you want to learn Sass right now. Okay, so you'll notice here, the proper way to code these are to have a semicolon. You don't need it here because it's only listing 1 tag for each property, which is fine. So let's just take these colors out, because these colors, instead of using your hexadecimal colors for blue and green, are actually going to mess up my design. So what I'm going to do is go to a hexadecimal color, which is a online tool where I can find out what color I want in the hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal. See? Told you I'm not making these words up. Okay. So we got hexadecimal colors. And what color do I want? I think I saw the green up there and the blue, right? Okay. So W3 Schools is a beast. So you see that you have all these colors right here. Now that's your blue. I can choose all ranges of blues, but I like that blue. So let's go ahead and create that. I'm going to be in the habit of semicolons, because when we start listing things out and you want to start changing things, you're going to want to have those semicolons, because then you're going to be running into syntax errors and we don't want a sloppy coder. Okay, cool. All righty. So let's go ahead and do the color format there. Make sure you have your pound. What a syntax error that your computer is not picking up. Okay, so make sure that you do that to have good practice. And when we reload, you'll notice that your CSS isn't showing up. That's an issue, but it's not too big of an issue. To start understanding why your code isn't working, it's really cool to have some developing tools. What I do is just use my Mac to inspect the element by right-clicking. I can inspect the whole element of my page. Wow, so this is really good for debugging. You're going to want to use this to see what exactly is coming towards your page. This is actually very cool to see your margin and everything right here. What's being computed? Nothing. So that means my CSS is not tagged to this page. I can also see that by going to here, my sources. You'll see that my index page is right there, but it doesn't seem to be finding my link rel for my CSS, which is weird because it is included in there, as you can see. So let's just double check that our files are in the same place, and that way we can actually view, we'll know what's going on. Cool? Great. All right. My CSS. I'm going to go back to make sure on W3 Schools to make sure the CSS is in line. Link rel equals style sheet. So that's what I did. If you realize code, you already knew that was a syntax error that I had. Link rel should not be equal to what you're doing. It should be actually equal to, I apologize, your style sheet. So you're letting the browser know, hey, this is a style sheet, but you let them know, hey, I want it directed to my CSS.css. Is that cool for you? Great. So now that you understand that, when we refresh, wow, what so much color. So now you see your CSS is working. That's a simple way to get your CSS working. I don't like that red. It's kind of deaf to my eyes. So let's go ahead and take it off. Cool? Let's agree to disagree. If you like the red, I apologize. So there we go. We have the title of the page being blue, like we described earlier in our CSS. H1 equals this color, which is the blue. The paragraph is equal to that ugly green. Let's make it black. Now, notice I put 3 codes in here. Black is going to be black, and if you 3 zeros equal black. But if you want to be smart with your coding, which you can be, just use 6. In a hexadecimal color, it needs to have 6. That's RGB that I just used. But you'll learn that along the way. So this is still, it gets us going somewhere. I don't think it gets us going where we want to be. So let's try to add some things. So if you want to go ahead and talk to the whole page in your CSS, you use this cute little star symbol. It's right on above 8 on my computer. So cool. So now I'm talking to my whole computer. I'm like, hey, can we make the margin a little centered? Let's make it 0 auto. When you do that, you're saying, hey, I don't want any space on my stuff. I want it all in between, in the middle, centered. This is what that 0 auto does. So let's see if our CSS, that's not it. Okay, sorry. There's more to this code. I usually have my pages already drawn out. So in order to get that, let's go CSS center. This is very much easy. If you just you have all the resources right here. So margin left, margin right, auto. Okay. So let's use this block code. Okay. All right. That's a little bit better. What you want to do here is add some padding. You'll see how you have that lorem ipsum almost floating on the side of the page. That's not going to help us. So what I want to do is add some padding to the left of the page in order to create a more visually aesthetic page. So let's add about 5 pixels. 10 pixels will have you in the middle of the page, or not in the middle, but close to it. Okay, so let's just do that padding left. Notice how my stuff try to move over, but it also moved my right side to the end. That's not good either. So let's add some padding to the right, okay, by 5 pixels. Okay, so save that. Wow, much better. Okay, now say we have this quote right here, but you want to make it almost like a block quote. Like you want to make it a quote that someone said. Let's do that. Okay. We're going to go down here where it starts, and you're going to say, hey, I want a block quote right here. So basically, you're just programming your computer to do what exactly you want it to do. It's very simple work if you understand the code. It could be a little bit challenging, but once you know the fundamentals, which are here right now, then you're basically started on the right track. Okay. Wow, look at that. All we need is a little picture, don't we? Let's get a picture going. How exactly would you add an image, huh? Okay, so what do you guys want? Flowers? Let's put flowers on here. Ooh, those are some beautiful flowers. Yes, okay, those are gonna be it. I think that's so cute. Ooh, look how they look when they're enhanced. So let's try to keep it that big so it doesn't look pixelized. I'm going to enter it right before the body text. I'm going to put image. The source of my image, abbreviated, everything's almost abbreviated here, equals, quotes, open quotes, end quote, the source of the page. You also want to declare your width here, which is okay to do it in line for image tags. The proper way to do it is to add an image ID or class and then say, hey, this is my flowers. This is exactly how I want only the flowers to look on my page. Okay? So I'm not going to do it that way because I don't want to teach you something in bad practice. So let's just keep the ID flowers, okay? Let's start here. Let's start here because I don't want to confuse you guys, okay? So let's check out our page, our flowers, our pretty little flowers. All right. Okay. Let's go right back because obviously there's an error. Image ID equals flower. Source equals, here's your source. Yeah, should be there. Let's save again. Okay. Doesn't hurt with saving twice. Sometimes your browser is a computer. So yeah, it is just a saving issue. When you resave it, you'll notice that the picture is just really, really big. That's not cute. Okay. So in order to fix this, you don't want to do it on your CSS. What you want to do, you don't want to do it, apologize. You don't want to do it on your HTML. You actually want to go to your CSS, which stands for your cascading style sheets. Anything pertaining to the style of images or paragraphs, anything you have on your page is going to be controlled through your CSS. So if I had a class of items, which think class group, if I just have an ID, like a certain ID, like I did for the flowers, then you want to create hashtag flowers, open your brackets, and these aren't your regular HTML brackets. These are your curly braces. Make sure you're using that. You want to say width. I want the width to be, instead of that 1,000 pixel font, let's just make it 300. I mean, I just want you to see it. And then your height, let's make your height to be equal to 200. They're pretty flowers. Let's show them, okay? So let's go back to our page. Let's refresh. Wow, makes things a little, to have just your flowers right there, right? Cool. But what if I wanted to have my flowers to the right of my title? Kind of like a logo. What if the flowers were a logo? That's something fun to play around with. Let's check it out, okay? So your H1 goes right here, right? You have in your page, your documentation shows that you have your body, you have your H1 tag, and you also have your flowers. But in order to float objects, they have to kind of be grouped in a division together. Such a division, such as a div. A div tag is going to group your things together. So instead of creating a name for my div tag, I'm just going to keep it there. And I'm going to hope that with them being both in the same div, that I can kind of sync them together. So you got your HTML1, your H1. Instead of having it all centered, you want to float it to your left. Let's see. Let's keep that to the left of me, okay? All right. Wow, so pretty. Okay. So it looks like we just got a few things completed. I do have to go ahead and log off, but I hope that you guys do have a few pointers needed. If you need anything else, I will continue this, save the file, and next session we'll have a little bit more of a breakdown of what you personally want out of your website and what I can provide you in order so you can see your website take off. But I do want to leave you with some tools. I am using HTML5. I'm also using CSS3 and the Modern Web Book, which will teach you HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. Thank you guys for your time, and if you need anything else, let me know. And